Hey guys, Mom here. So I want to read Drango Dragon. Dragons are my favorite animal. Even if they are fake, they're still my favorite. And so I got this book for Anthony, my oldest son, when he was a little guy. And now I'm going to read it to you. Mr. Peabody was an artist. He painted pictures of dogs and elephants and crocodiles because he liked animals. But he enjoyed painting dragons even more because he liked dragons best of all. The trouble was that he had no animals to paint from, not even a dog, and certainly no dragons. So his pictures weren't very good, and nobody wanted to buy them. See, he's got a dragon, an elephant, dragon, another dragon, a little puppy dog, another dragon, a little doggy. One day there was a knock at his door. An old gypsy woman stood there with her horse and van. "Buy a trinket from old Nell," she said, "and you'll find that all goes well." Mr. Peabody had no need for bracelets or bangles or even clothes pegs or tin kettles, but he noticed a dog in the van. A dog! Now that was just what he wanted. It looked friendly. The gypsy woman was willing to sell it, so he bought it then and there. There's the gypsy woman, and there's our guy on the horse and the little buggy, and there's the little doggy he bought. The dog's name was Gordon. "I got him off a miner," the old woman had said in her funny way, "but I think he comes from China." Chinese or not, Gordon was a very nice little dog. Mr. Peabody was delighted. "Now I have a real dog to paint from," and he gave Gordon a bowl of biscuits and a bone. The dog finished his biscuits, and in no time he settled down happily with his bone. Mr. Peabody began to paint. It was the finest dog picture he had ever done. There he is, just posing for the painting, and there he is in his little flippers, just painting. Next day, he showed it to Mr. Brisket Barker, the dog breeder. "What a fine Chinese dog," he said, and promptly bought the picture. Mr. Peabody was so pleased that he went straight back to paint some more pictures of Gordon. He showed them to Mr. Brisket Barker, and the dog breeder bought every one. "You've brought me luck," said Mr. Peabody to Gordon that night. "You are my best friend now. But there's one thing. I don't like your name." And he sat down to think of a new one. "I know, I could make anagrams of your name." He called them out, and it sounded like a chant. Gordon, Gadron, Randog, Ragdon, Dogran, Dagron, Drango, Dragon. "That's it," he shouted, "Drango Dragon." And then a remarkable thing happened. Right in front of his eyes, the dog began to change. What do you think happened? We gotta keep reading, let's find out. His body grew long, his coat went scaly, his feet became claws, his color turned green, and his tail curled right up behind him. And there he stood at last, red wings and all, a large, genuine Chinese dragon. "Thank you very much," said the dragon with a toothy grin. "You've broken the ancient Chinese spell that had turned me into a little dog. I feel a lot better now." What? What if your dog is a Chinese dragon? What if my dog is? Dude, maybe we should go and say this chant, see if our dogs become dragons. We'll have to rewind it and remember that chant. If your dog becomes a dragon, please, please let me know. I want pictures, okay? Or if you can even draw your dog turning into a dragon, that would be awesome. I want to see. Like I said, dragons are my favorite. Mr. Peabody was astounded. "A dragon! Now I have a real dragon to paint from." He danced with joy and got out his brushes. Let me see your happy dance. What would you do? Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Why not? That's kind of mine. But Drango Dragon was hungry, and he didn't fancy dog biscuits now. So he walked to the fireplace and helped himself to a large lump of coal. "My favorite dish," he said. smacking his lips. So Mr. Peabody fetched a whole bucket full, and as Drango munched, Mr. Peabody painted. Because he's got to be still so he could paint, you know. Having finished his meal, Drango Dragon sat down, ate a box of matches for afters, and leaned back, puffing out a pipe with his own smoke. He looked very content, and Mr. Peabody painted another picture. The dragon wanted to try out his wings, so he flew around and round the garden and back again. All the time Mr. Peabody painted, and they were the finest dragon pictures he had ever done. See, there he is flying around and he's painting. Can you paint? Maybe I'll try to paint a picture. Maybe we could do that after this. Next day, Mr. Peabody took the pictures to an art gallery and showed them to Mr. Dealer Varnish, who promptly bought them all. If you can paint some more like these, he said, people will queue up to buy them. What do you think? Ooh, maybe you could start an art gallery. Mr. Peabody was delighted. He bought a sack full of matches for Drango and ordered a lorry load of coal. Then he painted more pictures of Drango, and they were better than ever. Have you ever heard of a lorry load? Me neither. I learned a new word today. Did you? We're learning together. After dinner, they sat down by the fire, which the dragon had lit with his hot breath, and Drango told him stories of old China. When Mr. Peabody had enough new pictures, he took them to the art gallery, and Drango Dragon came with him. Sure enough, soon there was a queue. People recognized Drango from the pictures and asked for his autograph. Do you know what an autograph is? It's where you sign your name. But others who had not heard of him were terrified to see the large dragon puffing smoke and ran for their lives. They didn't know what a friendly dragon Drango really was. At the bottom of your picture, when you paint a dragon later, you gotta sign your name, okay? That's your autograph. And then when you get famous, people will be like, can I have your autograph, please? Please, I'm your biggest fan. Then you could be like, yeah. And then you could sign it. Early one morning, there was real trouble. Drango decided to go out for a walk all by himself. He went past a field, but the smell of hay made his nose tickle, and he sneezed. Achoo! His hot breath set a barn on fire, and the farmer who came out running out was absolutely furious. Oh my God! He was so mad. Drango flew home as fast as he could and told Mr. Peabody, who rang the fire brigade. It's like the firemen. Back in the old days, they called it the fire brigade. Drango was alarmed when he saw the angry farmer coming up the road after him, and that meant trouble for Mr. Peabody too. There's only one thing to do now, said Drango. Please say all my names again, but backwards, quick. What's gonna happen? So Mr. Peabody began to chant, Dragon, Drango, Dagron, Dragon, Ragdron, Randog, Gadron, Gordon. And to his amazement, Drango Dragon disappeared. Instead of the dragon, there stood a little Gordon the dog. He was exactly the same as before, except that he could speak now. The dragon turned back into a dog. Magic. Just then, the farmer burst in. Where's that dreadful dragon of yours? He bellowed. There's no dragon here, he said, Mr. Peabody, truthfully. But as I am a rich dragon painter now, allow me to pay you for your barn. And the farmer walked away with the money, feeling much better. Whew, what a relief. Now that the danger was over, Gordon the dog was itching to become a dragon once more. So Mr. Peabody chanted out the names again, and in the right order this time. And there stood Drango, red wings and all. It was really quite amazing. But he looked thoughtful. This might get into the papers, and there will be a lot of fuss and bother. It would save you trouble if I went on a short holiday. Anyway, I want to visit my old friends in China. Mr. Peabody agreed. He was so good at dragon pictures by now that he could paint them without a real dragon for a while. So he gave Drango a bucket of coal for the journey and plenty of matches. But don't worry, said the dragon with a toothy grin. I'll be back soon. And they shook hands like old friends. And so it was that Drango Dragon walked out of the house, stretched his red wings, and flew away towards the rising sun. And there's Mr. Peabody, and there's Drango Dragon with his coal, and he's puffing his smoke. And that's the end of the story. Yay! I love you guys. Have a great day, and I hope to see your dragon paintings soon. And if your dog becomes a dragon, don't forget to let me know. Have a great day. Love you.